Introduce you to the amazing National Sales Director, Roxanne McEnroe. She's a Mary Kay multi-millionaire. She's the proud leader of her beautiful and successful directors who make up the Gold Circle National Area all 5 years as an area. She's a mother of 2 wonderful grown sons, fortunate enough to grow up in a Mary Kay world, with 1 beautiful granddaughter, Roxy. Roxanne began her career July 20th, 1989. She became a director in July 1995. She became a national sales director July 1st, 2012. She's been on the National Court of Sales 14 times. She's the second runner-up with over 80,000 in sales on the Mary Kay Court of Sales, where Mary Kay Ash presented her with the B. She's achieved star consultant status 80 plus quarters. She's a member of the National Recruiting Court. She's been the #1 director in her state of Texas in 2010. Roxanne was number 8 in the Sapphire Division in 2010. She's done 15 unit clubs, achieved 4 of them in the $500,000 circle, and 3 in the Circle of Excellence, earning trips to Rome, Greece, and Hawaii. As a national, Roxanne has traveled to Beijing, China, Hawaii, London, Portugal, Spain, and in May, she's returned traveling from Argentina with her sister nationals, and her next trip is to Rome this May. She's earned 3 Grand Dams, 1 Grand Prix, 9 pink Cadillacs, and her highest paycheck is over $24,000 in just 1 month. Roxanne's 2 favorite Mary Kay memories are her first seminar, where she caught her life-changing vision, tied with introducing her 2 sons on the national debuting stage, along with her beautiful area of directors. So let's welcome National Sales Director Roxanne McEnroe. Are you there, Roxanne? I believe she's coming. Roxanne, if you're there, just unmute and say hello. Hey, Roxanne. I can't hear you. I still can't hear you.
Okay. Oh. It says, oh, there you are.
I can hear you now.
Okay. It was muted, but I had a hard time. And then when you called, I was still trying to get in. So I'm sorry.
It's okay. We are so glad to have you. I actually just read your accolades. You've been properly introduced, and you can take it away.
Great. Hey, McKeever Group. I'm so excited to be with you guys. This is so fun. Okay, so Laura asked me to talk about the 100 faces in 40 days. Have y'all heard about this? Have y'all been talking about it? Okay. So the first thing I want to say is it's exciting time right now because we are in the 90-day sprint, right? We have got, actually it's about 75 days now. Do y'all believe that? 75 days before the end of our seminar year. And that to me doesn't even seem possible, but that's where we are. And so I always feel like I can do anything for 90 days. So you guys can do anything for 75 days, right? If you really know what you want, if you're clear on what it is that you want to accomplish and you're willing to do the work, then there's not anything you can't do. So think about what you wanted when the seminar year started, right? Think about what you wanted. What was it that you wanted? And are you close or are you far out? So if you're close, yay, you're feeling confident and you're feeling accomplished. And if you're far out, then you're probably feeling a little defeated and probably feeling like, well, do I even try? And so what I'm going to tell you right now is I want you to stop with all that kind of thinking. If that's where you are, I want you to stop with that kind of thinking, and I want you to think a different thought. So in talking about thoughts, I want you to draw a circle on your paper. Everybody draw a circle. And at the top where 12 o'clock should be, I want you to put thought. Just put the word thought. And then draw a line from thought around the circle to where the 3 o'clock should be. And I want you to put feeling. Okay, so thought, feeling, and then draw a line around to the 6 o'clock spot and put action or inaction. And then draw a line from that to the 9 o'clock spot. And I want you to put result. And then from there up to draw that line back up to thought. Okay, so this is how the thought cycle works. Have you guys seen that before? Carrie, you're the only one I can see. Have you seen this before? Yes. Okay. So I love this because it's so powerful and so true. I mean, my girls hear me talk about this all the time, because until we capture any kind of negative thought that we have. So let's say that the first thought that we have about the end of the year is negative. Then we got to capture that thought, and we have to argue with that thought, and then we have to replace it with the right thought. So when we argue with the thought, if the thought is, well, it's too far out and I don't know, I think I'm going to wait till the new year to start working. Well, that is the wrong thought to have, because you can still end up in a great place for the seminar year and be very proud of where you are in a 75-day sprint, okay? And set yourself up for a fantastic new year. But if we stop and just decide we're not going to do anything right now, we're going to wait and start later, then we set ourselves up for a really slow start in the new year, because it always takes time to get things back together. So we have to make sure that our thinking is properly in place. So clear about where we want to go, what we want to accomplish in the next 75 days. Become crystal clear about what it is you want, and then we've got to think properly to get there. So, and to me, this is the way that it works. So you know what you want, and now you've got to fix your thinking about it. So if I have a great thought, let's just play two scenarios out. I have a great thought. I wake up in the morning and man, I am so excited because today is going to be a great day. It's a beautiful day outside. It's going to be a great day. I've got people to call. I've got new consultants to talk to about inventory. I have new contacts that I'm going to call and book. I've got a hostess I'm going to coach. I have guests that I'm going to pre-profile. And I've got people to go see. I've got books to drop off. We've got this new 3D coming out. I mean, I am excited. It's going to be a great day. So that's how I wake up in the morning. I've already done my 6 savers on the miracle morning. I've had my silent time, my meditation time. I've had my affirmation time. I've had my visualization time. I have had my exercise time. I've had my reading time. And I've journaled. I've journaled down on things that I needed to get out maybe, or things I wanted to remember about what's been going on. So I've done all of those things. So I am prepared for a great day. All right. So my thought started out positive. So what now happens with the feeling? The feeling's going to be positive, right? Because my thought was positive. So my feeling is going to be positive. So from a positive feeling, then am I going to move into action or inaction? What am I going to do? I'm going to have great action, right? I'm going to be involved in the activity that's going to take me to the place that I want to go in the next 75 days. And then that's going to lead to a positive result, which is going to lead to proving out my thought. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a great day. It was a great day, and I knew it was going to be a great day. Okay? So the other side of that could be, the other scenario could be, I don't want to get up this morning. It's just like, I just might as well stay in bed. I haven't been doing what I need to do. I've got these things that I, need to do around the house and the kids and the this and the that. I'm just going to wait till next year and get started. So that thought leads to what kind of feeling? Like not a good feeling, a negative feeling, a feeling that makes me not want to really do anything. So what happens? I go into inaction, right? I just don't do anything, which gives me a nothing result and proves my thought that it wasn't going to be a good day. So we have to first recognize that the first thing we have to do is we've got to fix our thinking. So I don't know if anybody's ever had a problem with the way you think, but for me, this has been the biggest obstacle in my Mary Kay career, is working on my thought life every second, sometimes of every day. And I don't think it's something that we will ever get to a point where, oh, I've got it. I've got this. I think we'll always be working on it because we're human and we're going to have discouragements and things like that. And so it's normal to have that. But what is the best action for that is then to recognize. You have to recognize that you're being negative, and you have to capture that negative thought. It even tells us in the scripture, to capture those thoughts, take captive those thoughts. And so we take captive the thoughts that aren't serving us well. So let's say that I think, well, I don't really think that anybody's going to buy today. Well, that's not a true statement because people buy from me all the time. So I've captured the thought and I've argued the thought, and now I'm going to replace it and say, you know what? People buy from me all the time. And I bet that today, if I wanted to, I could have $100 day. Even if I don't have anything on my books, I bet I could have $100 day. That is replacing. So the subconscious is either working for us or against us all the time. The subconscious never sleeps. The conscious mind is like the guard at the gate, right? And the subconscious mind is the one that makes everything happen. Like it is the one that is why we put goal posters up, you guys. If you don't have a goal poster up right now, throw one up for the next 75 days. What do you want to accomplish in the next 75 days? So this weekend, yesterday, as a matter of fact, I had 16 women here at my house that have the desire to move into directorship and had very specific things that they had to, requirements they had to meet to get to come. And one of the things we talked about was the 100 faces in 40 days. And I love this because several years ago, I recruited a woman. This was a woman that I recruited from it was a customer appreciation at my favorite bling store in Lubbock. And I had asked the owner if I could come in and I could work two hours one morning and 2 hours the next morning on her busiest days. And this woman was really the only positive thing that I got out of this whole event. But when I saw her, I thought, man, I'll tell you what, there's something about her. I just know that if I can schedule an appointment with this woman, I know she's going to love the product, and I think I can bring her into the business. And she just, for whatever reason, I know she's going to be successful. So I began to work on, talking to her about an appointment. Well, I want you to know it took 7 times. She canceled on me 7 times. How many times? How many of you would go through 7 appointments where she, luckily she called and she canceled. She didn't just not show, but she would call and cancel the day of. And so the last time I said, listen, Haley, I think you're darling, and I would love to have the chance to show you our product. But you know what? I don't have to chase people to have them try the Mary Kay product. So if you are not interested, please just say you're not interested, and I won't call you anymore. But if you're interested, then let's don't reset. Let's don't cancel anymore. Let's get this thing done. And she said, no, I really want to. And I said, okay. So if you really want to, when would you like to? And she said, well, I could do it at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I said, great. I'll have the coffee on and let's do it at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we did. And that morning she came over and y'all, this is so funny. She wore Sally Hansen leg makeup on her face for makeup. That's what she wore. She was a cowgirl and she was a barrel racer. And I don't know why, but that's what she wore on her face for makeup. So we had a lot of work to do, right? But she was darling and we did it and she loved everything. And she bought the $300 bag. She bought it all. And so when we went into my office to put her order together, she went, wait a second. I love all this. What is all this? What is all this product? I love this. How can I have this? And I said, well, you can have this if you decided to be a beauty consultant. And she said, okay, I want to. And she signed up and she came in with an 1800. And that was before 8 o'clock in the morning. All that happened. Wasn't that a great day already? I love that day. So anyway, then she was one of these people that really wanted to move fast. And she made me a little nervous because she was always saying, okay, what next? Okay, what can I do now? Okay, what can I do now? Because I'd never had anybody quite like that, that really pushed me to give her the information about how to move to the next place. So in January, so she came in September. I was about to leave on the top trip. She was 23 years old, but she had cervical cancer, had just been diagnosed, went and had surgery, had Christmas, all these things. So we had talked off and on, but we really hadn't done much. And in January, I went to leadership and I heard from the stage at leadership. And this was, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I wasn't a national yet. But I heard from the stage that if you wanted to have a quantum leap in your business, so I want to ask you, do you want to have a quantum leap in your business over the next 75 days? Do you really want a quantum leap? And if I gave you the formula, it would be worth it to you to do it. Would you be willing to do the work? And so anyway, at leadership, I heard from the stage, if you want a quantum leap in your business, do 100 faces in 40 days. So what I want to make clear on that is that it's not 100 individual faces. See, there's a difference between a party and faces. And the difference is huge. And I'm going to stop right here with where I was going. And I'm going to tell you about when I was working to become a director. I was a consultant for 6 years. And I didn't like it. Like all I could see was national. Okay. I did not want to be a consultant. I wanted to go from signing the agreement to being a national sales director. That was what I thought was going to happen for me. Well, I sold like crazy. I was always number one in Lubbock, always number one in sales. And when we do citywide everything, and my weeks would either be $1,000 weeks, anywhere. I never sold less than 1,000. And most of the time it was $2,000, $3,000, and $4,000 a week. How many of y'all would love to have a consultant like me on your team? It was awesome for my director, believe me. And I consistently sold like that, but I was selling one face at a time, maybe two at times, but most of the time one face, because I felt like, well, I can give them more attention. They're going to buy more. My sale is always bigger. So this is what I'm going to do. And it was true. That all of that is very true. We know that to be true. But that was not my goal. My goal was to become a director. And so there was a disconnect between selling individually and wanting to become a sales director and bringing people into the business. And so I was looking at Jan Thetford's area and I thought, I outsell all of those people. And I thought that I heard Kathy Halou say, selling and team building is one breath. So what am I missing here? What am I not doing that they're doing? And why is Jan Thetford popping off directors like popcorn? And I'm beating them all over the place on sales, and yet I haven't become a director. What is that? And then it hit me. I'm not doing the party. And that's the difference. So you cannot compare a party to a face. So when I say 100 faces, I'm talking about doing it in parties. Okay. So if it were me and I were going to do 100 faces in 40 days, I would do 10 parties with 10 people. And that's how I would do it. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, that's a big party. And I wouldn't want to do a party like that because that'd take, whatever. Well, I guess I've been a national 2 years. It was when Daryl Overcash gave the challenge of $1,000 for this month and $1,000 the next month and $1,000, whenever that was. And so I was having a directors meeting right after that. So I went into my directors and I said, okay, directors, how can we all nail down that $1,000 bonus? And so they were throwing out ideas, and pretty soon they threw out gold medal, and then they threw out parties. And I was like, okay, let's capture those two thoughts, because that's exactly how we can do it. And I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And if in the next 2.5 weeks, every director in my area has 5 skincare parties in the next 2.5 weeks, and you have at least 7 people at the parties, the hostess plus 6, I'm going to give away $1,000. I don't care what the results are. I'm going to give away $1,000. Well, they wanted to tar and feather me. They seriously were not happy about that challenge. And what I realized was they were not having parties. They were doing facials. They were doing double facials, but they were not having parties. And so I left there really I felt so wow, I can't believe this. I felt disturbed. And so a lot of what was being said was, well, people just don't gather like they used to. So I thought, well, skincare parties died. I've been a national 2 years and the skincare party died, and it's been part of our company forever. Is that what y'all are telling me? So I decided I was going to prove them wrong. Give me a challenge and I'll live up to it. So I went back and I decided I was going to find out if the skincare party was dead. And so I called it the skincare party. Texas term, ain't dead. Okay. And so that was my whole thing for myself. So I got on my phone and I started scrolling, and here's an important key, the first influential woman that I came to in my scroll, I stopped, I dropped, and I called right there. I didn't make a list. I didn't think about it. And when I say influential, she was a woman that was a gatherer of people. And you all know those people that are natural gatherers. The people at school that all the moms want to be around that woman. The woman at church that all the people want to be around that person. Wherever, there's always one person that just seems to naturally gather people. She doesn't go out and get, necessarily, try to get people gathered. She's just a natural gatherer. And so I knew this to be true about Melissa. So when I saw her name come up, I stopped and I just pushed the button. I didn't even know what I was going to say, honestly, at the time. I just pushed the button and she answered, and I said, Melissa. I said, and she lived in Lubbock, where I now live in Dublin. But she and I had started our businesses about the same time. She's a very successful interior design person. I had never, in all of our history, asked her in the 20-something years we'd known each other to have a party for me, believe it or not. But I called her and I said, Melissa, I said, I have something to ask you. I said, you know what? I said, I'm afraid that the Mary Kay party has died. And I am looking to revive it because I believe that you're the kind of woman that can help me find out if that's true or not. I said, you're a gatherer of people. And so I know if you wanted to have 10 people around your table to try our skincare, you could do that. And I said, the type of people that I'm looking for, Melissa, is women that can pull a checkbook out of their pocket, out of their purse, and they can buy whatever they want to, if they want to buy, or they can pull a checkbook out of their purse and they can start a business if they want to. That's the kind of women I'm looking for, 18 years or older, non-Mary Kay users. And Melissa, when you get those type of people around the table for me, I'm going to give you $200 in free product. And she said, I'm in. I'll do it. And so we booked right then. And I said, I've got to do it in the next 2 weeks. So she booked about a week from that date. It was not quite a week, but a little less than a week. And I said, that's perfect. So this was going to be driving, 4 hours one way to go do the party. So then I picked up my phone and I scrolled again, and the next woman I selected was a woman that was in the Did I lose you? Okay, there you are. Longhorn cattle business. And so I called her, and same script. And she said, yeah, I'll do it. And she booked a few days before this girl. So then I said, okay, how about this? I said, did I lose y'all again?
We can hear you. We just can't see you.
Okay. So I said, here you go. There you go. So I said the same script to her. And what it is somebody keeps calling in. They keep knocking me off. Okay. So anyway, so then I called another friend of mine that was a nurse, and I asked her the same question, same script. So now I had 3 in the same week. Like 2 of them booked that Saturday and that Sunday, and the other one booked on the Wednesday. And this was like Friday. Like they booked the day apart, 10 women. So, or it might have been a Tuesday. So I 2 were at my house and 1 was 4 hours away. So the first 2, and I don't remember exactly, one of them was like 800, 2 parties were like 900. Anyway, it was $2,800 in sales. So here were my numbers. The very first party, she had 11 people, and I said, I'm sorry, you can't have the facial because I don't have 11 trays. I've got 10. You'll have to wait, hostess, and have it another time. You can be my helper. And so she had 10, 11 counting herself. The second one was so disappointed because she only had 7. And I said, well, I'm sorry. Oh, and the other part of it was they had to hold on the original date and time to get their 200. So I said, well, I'm sorry, I can't give you 200, but I can give you 100. And we can try again later. Maybe we'll have more success with 10 later. So she felt terrible, but how many of y'all would love to have 7 people at a party, right? And then the next one was 10 in Lubbock. And so it was $2,800 in sales and 5 new team members. And one of those new team members just became one of my brand new Offspring first line sales directors. So it happened the day I sat down to book. Within 1 week, I had held all 3 of those parties. How many of you would love to have that kind of success within a week, 5 new team members, and $2,800 in sales? And I was rusty, you guys. I hadn't been in the field in 2 years. So if I can do that, imagine what you can do, right? So my directors have been on a party train now. Since that happened, they've been stretching those party muscles. They've been stretching those gold medal muscles, because what happens is when, I always tell my girls, if you have magic in your unit, which means you've got people wanting something, wanting to move up, and they're not just wanting it, but they're doing the activity to make it happen, then you absolutely support and work with that magic. But when there is no magic in your unit, you have people maybe saying it, but they're not doing it, or you don't have anybody saying it, then you're the magic. And so you have to be willing to, at any place along the marketing plan, before I became a national, that's what I did. I picked up my showcases. I got back in the field and I held parties, because that's the only place I know that will bring about team building as quickly as it does. So, when I think about, and even if you have a lot of magic working in your unit right now, this still works. Come and tell you one more story, and then we're going to talk about the 100 faces. So I went to the Beehive. I think that's what Laura's doing today, maybe working the Beehive. Well, I had done that in Dallas, and Kimberly Copeland was there with her daughter, Waverly. And y'all may have heard about Waverly. but it's pretty impressive. So Waverly turns 18 and graduates in May of last year. Okay. She comes out of graduation and she says, I don't want to go to college. I want to be a Mary Kay sales director. And I can't remember if she said national, but I think she did. And her mother said, okay. And so she went to work and she became a director in 2 months. So she was a director by August. So then she told her mom, she said, I want to be in a Cadillac by Christmas. And Kimberly said, you know, that really kind of scared me because this is my daughter. I didn't want her to be disappointed. And so she said, Waverly, would you be happy if we pushed it out to February? And she said, no, I want to be in a Cadillac by Christmas. And this is August. So she says, well, Waverly, that's going to take a lot of work. And she said, I know 5 parties a week, 500 in sales, and 5 interviews a week. Okay. Week in, week out, week in, week out. That's what she did. And she was in a Cadillac by Christmas. Not only was she in a Cadillac by Christmas, but she also had her first offspring by leadership and another DIQ. And then at that Beehive event, she had 3 more DIQs. So that girl is an executive senior sales director in 1 year. Now, what did she do? She did parties. And so I know this is nothing new. It's not like an amazing new idea, but you guys, the truth is that our business is built on the party. Everything you want, whatever you dream about in Mary Kay, whether that is a Cadillac, to become an executive senior, to become a national sales director, your success depends on the time between your skincare parties. So those are just some samples of what doing a skincare party can do for your business. And a facial is not the same. You can have 100 faces in 40 days and not get the results that you will have if you do them in parties. Now, let's say you don't want to do 10 people at a party. My party's an hour, and I can't even go into that now, but my party is only an hour. From the time they walk in the door till we're finished at the table, it's 1 hour. And I'm usually finished closing the first person within that first hour. Okay? It's fast. And the reason I do it fast is because I sell more, I book more, I have more bookings, and I team build more because people are like, okay, I can do this in an hour. I just saw $900 hit the table in 1 hour. I can do this. And so, because what's everybody's biggest obstacle when we talk to them? They don't have time, right? And so I take that right away when they see it's done in an hour. So it's different. Just remember, it's different at a facial than it is at a party. Okay, so we've made that point. So now going back to the 100 faces in 40 days and my Haley. So I go to this leadership. This is what I hear from the stage. So I call Haley when I get back and I said, Haley, you want to know how to move fast? This is how you move fast. I said, it's called 100 Faces in 40 Days. It's guaranteed to give you a quantum leap. I heard this from the stage. I think it was a national. I can't remember who said it, but I'm telling you, if she said it, it's true. She said it. And she said, okay, I'm in. And we talked about the party. Now, this is a brand new consultant that's done very, very little, remember? And we talked about the party. And so she lived way out in the country. So she would drive in for her parties and she would do them at the training center. And if the party didn't show, which sometimes happened, then she would sit there during what was supposed to be her party time and she would book. I've never seen anybody as diligent as she was, but she would sit there and she would not leave until that time was over that she would have spent at a party. And so she did that. She did the first 40 days. And also that I had taught her to put down, that was when on the profile, the back of the profile, it was 5 people, 5 referrals. And now what is it, 7? So she would put down the 5. Well, at the end of her 100 faces, she had 500 referrals. She had 500 names minimum in her. She had a big, huge book that she carried with her. And so now she didn't have any problem booking because she had all these referrals. She couldn't get to all of them. She had to start giving them away to her team. So she did 2.5. She did it twice and then half again. So she started at the end of January. And by June, she was a Cadillac driving director. She had never picked up a single car because she kept winning the next one faster than she could pick up the other one. So she finished in a Cadillac by June, and she had an offspring the very next month. So July 1, she became a director. August 1, she had her first offspring sales director. And her first paycheck as a new director was $10,000. So the way I look at it, we have almost enough time. What are we, 5 days short of having 80 days? Is that right? It's like 75 days. So 76, 77, 78, 79. Yeah, like 5 days short. Okay. Well, we can make up 5 days, can't we? Could we do 100 faces in 40 days? And then when we've had all this success, turn around and do it again? What if you did 2 of those in 75 days? What do you think you would feel like when you went to seminar? And if you crunch down the numbers, and okay, so my 3-part, and let's say that you wanted to do it in smaller numbers. You don't want to do 10 people at a party. Maybe you want to do 6, because I don't count it as a party unless it's 6 people at a party. Because if you have 6 people at a party, you've got a chance for 2 bookings. You've got a chance for 2 team members, to talk to 2 team members, and you're going to sell at least $600. So that's very successful. So let's say you did 6 people. What would that be? 16 parties? So could you figure out in your date book, could you go ahead and highlight in your date book right now 16 times that you could have a party in the next 40 days? And then do it again in the next 40? So I created these tracking sheets. I don't know if y'all can see them. I created these cute tracking sheets for my girls at this deal that we just had here at the house, the Wannabe. I called it the Wannabe training, and because they want to be directors. So, but they're not DIQs or any of that yet. So anyway, we have a tracking sheet. I can send it out to you guys. And, you may think, gosh, she's asking us to go do parties and we're sales directors. We wanted to hear something else. But I can't think of anything that could transform your business faster in the next 75 days than skincare parties and grabbing a gold medal. And depending on your numbers, so let's say we were looking at my numbers. So if in 3 parties, so 28 people, I had $2,800 in sales and 5 new team members. What would I have if those are my numbers? Somebody do the math for me. What would I have if I did 100 faces in 40 days? On that kind of math. What would 100 faces produce? Say that I talked to half of them, that's 50, right? Say I approached all 100 to listen or whatever. They hear the I story, but then 50 actually listen. How many sign? So, we did the numbers yesterday and I can't remember it, but do your numbers. If you did 100 faces, what do you sell per face? I sell $100 per face, evidently. So for me, how much would that be? 100 faces. If I recruited 5 out of 28, is that 1 in 5? Whatever it is, y'all do the math. But figure out your numbers. And that, so when I was finishing up National, one of the things that I knew about me was that I had to take the emotion out of the work. Because if I got caught up in emotion, because, we can be working and we can be not seeing a result, right? We've all worked where we've not seen the result right away. We know they're going to come, but sometimes we want to see it and it's not happening. We give up and we quit, whatever. I've done that before. But I knew in this case, I could not quit and I couldn't give up, that we were finishing this time because it was a non-negotiable goal. There's a difference between a decision and a non-negotiable decision. Non-negotiable means you make the decision over and over and over 100 times a day if you have to. A decision means you made a decision once and it didn't work out, so we'll try again later. But a non-negotiable is you're committed. Okay. And so if you have to make the decision 100 times that day, you make it the decision 100 times that day. So I knew that for me to do that, I needed to take the emotion out of the work. So I had to know my numbers. I had to know how many phone calls this is going to take. How many parties is this going to take? How many people do I have to talk to? 76 people were standing between me and National. For a long time, I had been stuck at 70. When I figured out, it's 76 people. It's 3 directors, 76 people. That's crazy. And so what is standing between you and what you want? How many people? How many people are standing between you and what you want? And so you know your own numbers. So now all you have to do is figure out the numbers that you need to hit to have what you want. And then you have to decide if you're willing to do it. And that's the big key. Okay, now I know what I want. Now I know how to get it. Now am I willing to do it? So I would love to hear some feedback, because I never do these things because I have to have interaction. And when I don't have interaction, I don't know if I'm hitting what you need me to hit or not. So can you open it up and you guys ask questions or comment, or I don't even know who else on the call.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Roxanne. I told
You're
them
welcome.
to be so glad that they got to hear from you this evening. We love hearing from you. I'll never forget the first time that I got to hear from you. I don't know if you remember, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago when you came to Laura's home and we were all sitting on her floor.
Oh, I do remember.
Remember that? That was the first time I got to meet you, and we heard your story of you going to seminar and laying all your non-Mary Kay items out on the
My
couch.
Clinique.
I love your story. I've loved you from the moment that we got to meet you. So I'm so glad everybody got to hear from you. I know there's so much more you could share too. And I just loved how you started out tonight, just with the circle, and our thoughts lead to our feelings, which lead to action or inaction, and then those results, and then it's back to your thoughts. And that's been a key for me too. So thank you for reminding us of that and how important that is. And also for the 100 faces and breaking down what that looks like if you were to go out and see 100 faces versus seeing like 100 individual faces versus 100 faces within parties. It makes such a difference. I know for me personally, I can get way more referrals if I have a group of women around the table versus seeing each one of them individually. You know, it definitely makes a difference when you have that group gathering. So I would love, Roxanne's given us more time. Hey, ask questions. If you
Absolutely. And I want to say one more thing too. What happens too, and what's happened with Waverly and what's happened when I did it, is that the people that I'm leading, the people that you're leading, when they see you do this and they see the results, they're going to start doing the same. So if you're having faces, they're going to be doing faces. And if you're having parties, they're going to start doing parties because they're going to see the difference. So, and I don't know, Laura's area may just be party queens. Y'all may be, this may be not anything. She asked me to talk about this, but this may be nothing that is new to you. You may all be party queens. You may not be doing faces, but I know it's a habit that we fell into.
Yes, and our tracking sheet in our area is called Power Players. So you ladies know that, and I know you have that in the front of your focus finder. And so I know Laura wants us tracking these 100 faces right there on our Power Player tracking sheet. And she shared with me that she's issuing a 100 face new challenge for everyone to complete by the end of seminar. So I know Roxanne was giving us a plan for 40 days, which many of you are going to take that challenge, I'm sure, but Laura's got a challenge she's putting out to us to do 100 faces by the end of seminar. So we'll be hearing more about that. But if you have a question for Roxanne or any feedback, go ahead and unmute yourself and just ask your question. Dawn, are you trying to, here, let's unmute you.
Okay, I have a question. I'm having difficulty.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Roxanne. I'm having some difficulty getting referrals at parties. What is your trick to getting women to give you referrals?
Well, I don't know if it's a trick, but okay, so I move my party along very quickly. And so when they've got the mask, I don't know if you do the mask on the lips, if you do the satin lips, but when they've put the mask on the lips and now they're letting it dry, they've already scrubbed the lips and now they're just going to let it dry. I say, okay, while that's drying, let me back up. In the beginning of my party, I tell them there's 3 things I'm looking for today. I don't have a hidden agenda. I want to be right out there with you and tell you what I'm looking for. Number 1, I'm looking for customers. I'm looking for girls, whether you wear head to toe glamour and everything else, I want your business. Or if you just use a mascara, I want your business. I want to take care of you. And that's what I'm looking for, number 1. Number 2, I'm looking for people that you know. Because when I was pre-profiling all of you girls, I realized you're the kind of people that I want to stay connected to. You're the kind of people that are going to have the kind of people that I'm looking for. And the only way that I build my business is through referrals. People like you that love the product and are happy to share with your friends, because we share everything, right? We share our favorite recipes, our favorite movies, our favorite place to shop. You know, it's a natural thing that we do. So second thing I'm asking for is people that you know. And the third thing I'm looking for tonight is someone at this party is going to want to be a beauty consultant, because that's what Mary Kay taught me. When I came into the business, Mary Kay said, there's a brand new beauty consultant at every single skincare party. And she would have us ask, who is that? So I'm going to have you right now, if y'all didn't know anything about anything, who would that be tonight? Who would that person be? They'll always point to one. My mother was recruited that way, by the way, Dawn. That's how my mother was recruited. And so I said, so that is the third thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone here at this party that's going to be doing what I do. Those are the 3 things I'm looking for. So when we get to the mask on the lips, I'm going to give you back your profile. And I'm going to ask you to flip it over and take out your phone and start giving me the names and numbers of women that you think would A, enjoy what we've done tonight, or B, needs what we do tonight, or it's someone you want to honor and just say, hey, I wanted you to have a pamper session. Whatever it is, whenever that woman comes into your heart and mind, just scroll through and grab the names and numbers. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes only to do that. But whoever gives me the most names over 7 is going to get that prize in the middle of the table. And it's wrapped up really pretty. Okay. And I've never had anybody say, I'm not going to do it. Now, the only people that have done that, just not done it at all, are the older women, like really old, like the grandmothers at the parties. They are like, oh, I don't really have that many friends. So, okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Dawn. Anybody else have a question or want to pop on here with any feedback? Sarah.
Hi, it's so great to meet you, Roxanne. Thank you for coming in. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say thank you. It was really encouraging. I am close, so it was good to really get that kind of push to keep going. And thank you again so much for being on here. And we hear lots about the Six Chicks, so it's cool to finally meet someone.
Well, you know what? We're blessed to have the connection that we do between the six of us, and we love each other and we trust each other with our areas because we know we talk the same language. So I'm honored to get to be on here with all you guys. Thank you so much. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Roxanne. We have time for maybe one more question. Anybody else have anything that they wanted to ask or say?
Are you there? There you are.
Oh, sorry. I'm just looking around, seeing if anybody's waving at me. All right. I think we've got our questions answered, or questions will come later. Roxanne, I just want to say again, thank you so much for giving us your time this evening. We loved hearing from you. And I know we all have.
Thank you, Carrie.
We're going to be putting it into action now. So thank you. Everybody have a great night.
Yay. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.